is CTV News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. History in the making tonight as a Canadian is in space, joined by 3 other astronauts. Beginning our coverage of Artemis II tonight, here's CTV's Mark Villani.
2, 1, booster ignition, and liftoff.
It's a moment that feels like history coming back to life. The Artemis II mission marks the first time since 1972 that humans have traveled beyond low Earth's orbit, sending 4 astronauts on a journey around the moon and back. At a University of Calgary watch party, it's turning textbook learning into reality.
It's just been very an abstraction of we went to the moon. So it's very cool to see that, it's something we're still doing, we're still excited about.
It's a feeling of patriotism that I feel like is unparalleled to see that.
This is Jeremy. We are going for all humanity.
For the first time, a Canadian is orbiting the moon. Astronaut Jeremy Hansen is on board the mission. Calgarian Jenny Gibbons serving as his backup after completing the same training.
Is meant to be the beginning of opening up space in a fundamentally different way, and so creating the moon as a platform for human activity.
And for these grad students, it's a powerful reminder that their research could one day be aiding missions like this.
It's so fun to watch how we're innovating and how even these innovations that feel at times not necessarily connected, how they all build into this bigger and bigger picture.
That bigger picture is also helping break barriers as a new generation, including more women, see themselves in space.
Little girls can also see that this astronaut is going to the moon, so they could also go to the moon one day. These rocket launches and these missions to the moon that really helps drive excitement and interest in astronomy.
It's also inspiring some students to aim even higher.
I'd love to go to the moon.
Christian Keenan studies physics and astronomy. He hopes the launch blazes a trail towards deep space exploration.
And after that, maybe an interplanetary gateway between Mars and Earth, and then from there, moving on to settling on Mars.
Meanwhile, professors say this could also change how we see ourselves, pointing to the famous Earthrise photo from the Apollo era. Was this mission hoping to shape the future of humanity?
They're trying to do something that will inspire us for generations to come.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
And all the attention on space today is resonating with younger students right here in Windsor, as our Sanjay Maru found out today.
Who was the first space tourist?
Katy Perry. Katy Perry.
The first ever?
Oh, no, not the first ever.
The topic of space exploration is a core part of Ontario's grade 6 curriculum. But as NASA prepares for its first crewed moon mission in more than 50 years, teachers say space is capturing students' attention like never before.
It seems to be one of the kids' favorite topics in science, so I just like to make it fun. We do art projects, we do all kinds of things with space, so it's exciting.
And that excitement, which radiates off of Dougal Public School teacher Heather Wakeman, is resonating with her students.
I want to see the Canadian guy, Jeremy Hansen.
I love to go and see the moon.
I mean, it's been 50 years. That's pretty crazy to think about. 50 years.
Just be researching on it, what the recent updates, how long is it gonna take to come back to Earth? How's the spacecraft accelerating in space?
At Mount Carmel Catholic Elementary, 6th graders have been working on projects about space exploration ahead of the Artemis II launch.
I'm really looking forward to this one because they're going to go around the moon, but then next year they're going to actually land on the moon, and that's amazing.
I can only imagine what it'll mean to a kid of today to know that Canadians can go all the way to the moon.
The excitement also reflects Canada's growing role in space, a country that Western University PhD candidate Jack Hostrower says has long punched above its weight through innovation and collaboration. And now with Artemis, that momentum could help lay the groundwork toward endless potential.
I think this is the first step in Artemis II toward building a foundation of exploration that will one day include, a research station on the moon, and then years and years and years down the road will include exploration of further places like Mars.
Sanjay Maru, CTV News.
In other news tonight, Essex County will begin overseeing some poverty reduction programs after cuts by the City of Windsor. County Council voting tonight to begin overseeing 2 programs within the Pathway to Potential Poverty Reduction Strategy. This will only apply to how programs are provided in the county. The city previously oversaw the administration through a jointly funded position. However, the position was cut in Windsor's latest budget. Despite no large financial implications, county councillors worry about the mounting responsibility on staff.
So the education piece to our residents is if you want less, that goes with the tax rate. The tax rate has to be low because we have to cut. And you see what got cut. And it's unfortunate.
Windsor police have released footage tonight of a man they're trying to apprehend. This is surveillance video from inside a business in the 500 block of Olette Avenue. On March 14th, around 3 in the afternoon, police say these suspects assaulted a store clerk after an argument escalated. The employee wasn't seriously hurt. Police have issued an arrest warrant for 37-year-old Jerome Finletter, who is facing numerous charges. They're still trying to identify the woman in the video. You'll find a link on our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. Emotion spilled over today in a Windsor Superior Court after a jury delivered their verdict to Malik Kalu, not guilty of murder, but guilty of the lesser offense of manslaughter.
It was a just verdict.
Defense lawyer Adam Weisberg notes, however, no one wins in cases like this.
You know, Mr. Squalls is no longer with us because of the killing, and he has a family that's obviously grieving. So it's the kind of case where it's just a tragedy all around, more than a feeling of winning, frankly.
24-year-old Daniel Squalls was shot to death on November 28, 2022, out front of his home on Hannah Street. Malik Kalu, now 30, admitted at trial that he killed Squalls, but only because he believed Squalls was armed and he felt provoked to act.
I saw Mr. Kalu break down in tears. If you listen to his testimony in the stand, obviously he testified that he was provoked. The jury, in my opinion, likely accepted that, getting to the manslaughter verdict.
Kalu told the jury he believed his daughter was being moved to the United States against his wishes by Squalls and the child's mother.
Mr. Kalu is respectful and happy with the jury's verdict, but at the same time still carries a lot of remorse and regret over the loss and the killing of Daniel Squalls.
Squalls' family members were not happy Kalu was found guilty of manslaughter instead of murder. They quickly left the courtroom after hearing it, with one person saying out loud, "If you do something 15 times, it's not an accident." The jury learned Kalu fired his weapon 15 times in Squalls' direction.
I have a lot of empathy for the loss that they've suffered, and in these types of circumstances, people will be emotional and may say things that they later reflect on and regret, similar to how in this situation, Mr. Kalu was informed that his daughter was gone and gone forever, and the law recognizes the frailties of humans, and I would give them the same benefit of the doubt.
We opted to give the Squalls family privacy as they cope with today's verdict, and the Crown attorneys declined to comment. Kalu will be sentenced at a later date. Another wrong-turn gun seizure to report tonight. U.S. Customs and Border Protection says a U.S. citizen was caught with this gun and drugs at the tunnel. Both were confiscated by authorities, and the traveler later released. They're releasing the image as a reminder. Proper documentation is required for firearms to cross the border. Marijuana remains illegal under U.S. federal law. Well, after a gloomy and cold day today, maybe things improve for Easter weekend. CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald will join me with your full details in 2 minutes' time. Then later, preserving history in Mildmay, Ontario, the lengthy process behind saving a century-old barn. Easter weekend is nearly here, but as CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald will tell us, it's not going to be the warmest. Here's his detailed look at the weather.
Michelle, rain is the story today. It was rainy, gray, obviously, cool and windy, and well below seasonal, and well below the temperatures that were quite balmy yesterday. It was incredibly mild yesterday, reaching a high near 24 degrees. Today's high is a little bit misleading. The maximum temperature, 12.5 degrees Celsius with an asterisk next to it. Technically, it occurred today, but within that midnight to 1 a.m. a.m. hour, so we weren't enjoying it. Plus, we were talking about rain in the early mornings. Thunderstorms with frequent lightning. It just got cooler. We'd normally experience a high at this time of the year between 3 and 5 p.m. And at 3 to 5 p.m., the range of temperatures between just over the freezing mark to about +2. So we're in what we call, meteorologically speaking, an unusual temperature trend. Just the timing didn't line up with conventions, so to speak. That train, that conveyor belt of rain still lies just along the lower Great Lakes. The worst of it over, but there's still trailing and residual factors to consider. And another wave will be on its heels, and there it is moving in. It will also bring some freezing rain and even snow north and east of us, coating the banks of the eastern shores of Lake Huron, further inland and north from there towards Georgian Bay. London could be clipped with a rain-snow mix, in fact, and some thunderstorm potential early tomorrow morning, which is just beyond the horizon here. Will take place in the next couple of hours. We could see some activity, say around 2 a.m., maybe 1 a.m., and then more showers towards the afternoon. The worst case scenario is thunderstorms to wake us up tomorrow morning, technically before dawn, and then again in the afternoon. The overnight temperature projected, the lowest temperature before sunrise Thursday morning, 2 degrees Celsius. Wow, that is a big chill, a big cool down by comparison to what we were experiencing 24 hours ago. Here's the breakdown for your Thursday: gray and wet, windy as well throughout the morning, through the midday, afternoon, and evening. There's a slight chance of thunderstorms, I think between 30 and 40% for the afternoon into the early evening, and a high projected at about 15 to 16 degrees will come in, say around 3 or 4 p.m. when we would normally expect it. The showers continue Friday into Saturday, Sunday, and then cold enough we could see early morning rain, snow, a mixture of the two by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Sunshine, but cool. Remember, average high at this time of the year, 10 degrees Celsius, the average low about +1. So the up and down wave of temperatures, that trend continues for the next 7 days, perhaps beyond. Let's look at your weather.
Thanks, Gary. To Chatham-Kent now, where hospital officials are announcing layoffs. As CTV's Chris Campbell reports, leaders might say it won't affect you, the patient. The union isn't convinced.
The Chatham-Kent Health Alliance says it's facing a deficit of roughly $5 million, and with labor costs making up about 70% of its budget, staff reductions are part of the solution.
We can't continue to sustain healthcare with $5 million deficit, so we do need to look at the positions in the organization, what we can do to reduce those, to reduce our expenses.
The cuts include 27 full-time positions from the hospital's float pool, staff who fill in for vacant shifts, along with 5 additional full-time and 17 part-time roles elsewhere.
It is post-pandemic planning. That's exactly what it is. It's there's a number of changes that we're making to get back to pre-pandemic levels of operations, and this is part of that.
CK Health Alliance President and CEO Adam Topp says vacancy rates have dropped significantly since COVID-19, meaning the hospital no longer needs as many float staff. He also insists patients won't see an impact.
This will not have an impact on wait times, or it does not affect our programs.
But Unifor Local 2458 says frontline workers are already stretched and warns these cuts could make things worse.
It seems that we're heading backwards instead of forwards in our healthcare system. And again, these will have the direct impact of patient care every day on the units.
The union says full-time nursing, personal support worker, and clerk positions are among those being eliminated, calling the move both shocking and disappointing.
So when we're taking that staff away, the ones that are still on the unit will probably end up working short daily.
Hospital officials say they'll try to avoid layoffs through attrition and redeployment, but acknowledge there are no guarantees. They add the changes will roll out over the next 6 months. Chris Campbell, CTV News.
Meantime, at St. Clair College, jobs could be eliminated as the administration looks to balance a projected deficit. St. Clair is expecting a deficit of $5.5 million this year. A 15% drop in international student enrollment gets much of the blame. Although the province is offering new grants, officials are still trying to cut costs by leaving jobs unfilled, eliminating others altogether, offering voluntary exits, and reducing part-time teaching hours. Still, the college is planning to spend $500,000 on a capital plan to improve campus accessibility and security. We got a sneak peek today at the next generation Chrysler Pacifica. The 2027 Chrysler Pacifica is getting a modern refresh with the Art Deco-inspired wing logo, getting a futuristic update. The new model was unveiled at the New York International Auto Show today. The automaker says the updated lineup is expected to hit dealerships this summer. Canadian pricing has yet to be confirmed. Now to some bittersweet news for a local business. An emotional day at PJ's Variety on Walker Road at Foster Avenue. The family business is changing ownership tomorrow, so today was the final day for the current owners and staff. They took over 35 years ago exactly. City Hall recognized the company for its commitment to the business community today. Owner Donald Chang says he is looking forward to retirement.
We've put a lot of heart and soul into it, and they've also cared for us a lot as well. And you know, we appreciate it. It's been very rewarding for myself and my family.
Congratulations, Don. Well, if you need gas, perhaps go and fuel up now. GasWizard.ca is predicting a 2-cent jump on Thursday. This after a 5-cent price increase Wednesday. Regular gas is forecasted to jump to $1.82.9, with premium rising to nearly $2.13. Some good news, though. Diesel's expected to drop 7 cents a liter. On the markets, the TSX gained 190 points, and in New York, the Dow added 224. The Nasdaq is up 250. The Canadian dollar gained a quarter cent, and on commodity markets, gold is up more than $135 an ounce. Oil fell $1.26 a barrel. The U.S. president held a primetime White House address tonight and said America is on the cusp of ending the war in Iran, more than a month after launching strikes on the Middle Eastern country.
Our objectives are very simple and clear. We are systematically dismantling the regime's ability to threaten America or project power outside of their borders.
Donald Trump says America is on the verge of achieving its military objectives in a televised White House address, more than a month since launching the war.
From the beginning of Operation Epic Fury, that we will continue until our objectives are fully achieved. Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong.
Trump reiterated his claims that Iran's military has been destroyed and that the country's ability to launch missiles and drones is dramatically curtailed. Donald Trump, meantime, is unhappy with this country's Buy Canadian policy, the Americans calling it a trade irritant. Here's CTV's senior political correspondent, Mike LeCouture.
The country's iconic symbol of democracy will soon be protected by Canadian steel. During the next phase of renovations, the Peace Tower will be encased by steel scaffolding from Hamilton-based Walters Inc. But it may not have happened if not for the Buy Canadian provision.
It would have been more difficult, and the chances are that much of the material, at least the raw material, would have come from the United States as opposed to from Canada.
As of December of last year, the government mandated that publicly funded infrastructure projects should prioritize Canadian workers and industries. Even though the U.S. has a similar provision, the American trade representative cited Canada's version as a trade irritant. The Minister for Canada-U.S. Trade downplayed the list of irritants, saying talks are continuing.
There was a high-level meeting this week in Washington between senior officials from Canada and the United States, to discuss these and other issues. So none of this is surprising to us.
The removal of American liquor off many provincial store shelves is also on the list of irritants, as is Canada's Online Streaming Act and the Supply Management System, which restricts the import of American dairy, poultry, and eggs into this country. Meantime, Mexico is seemingly further ahead in trade negotiations with the U.S., engaging in technical discussions with the Americans.
I think the Canadian government is stalling for time. They think that Trump, my guess is they think Trump is weak. They want to sort of see if they can get this deferred into the midterms.
Minister LeBlanc says he'll continue to speak regularly with his American counterparts about the CUSMA review, even as the deadline to decide the deal's fate is just 3 months away. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
A team effort in Mildmay, Ontario has saved a piece of rural history. Crew members have been restoring a 140-year-old barn after a delicate relocation process. With more on the engineering effort, here's CTV's Scott Miller.
Brent Weigel proudly looks on as a piece of his family's history is restored near Mildmay.
This barn's been in the family since early 1900s. I think 1901 our family bought it, and we had some sentimental value in the property and the buildings, and the structure was too good to tear down and decommission and just sell as parts.
So with a crumbling stone foundation, Weigel called in Larry Waddell of Waddell Engineering to find out if moving the 140-year-old timber frame was possible.
It was a bit of a gamble to lift it up, and if it fell apart, I guess. It was worth the risk.
While a massive crane was used to move the barn from its original foundation last month, Waddell believes when it was built in the 1880s, the huge wooden beams would have been lifted in place by hand with the help of horses. Weigel says once the roof and siding are reinstalled, the 140-year-old barn will be used to store heavy machinery for his drainage business, a modern-day use for a salvaged piece of family history.
Like most of these barns are unusable or not in good enough shape to be able to move them. This one's luckily in good enough shape and held up structurally to swing it over onto a new foundation. Now it's going to last another 100 years or more.
Near Mildmay, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Gary is next with the exclusive 7-day forecast.
One more look at our 7-day forecast, highs and lows anticipated. Take a look at the icons and the probability stat, which indicates the percentage, the probability of an occurrence of an active weather event. In this case, showers likely, thunder showers a little bit lesser than 70%. We'll see those showers early in the morning, about a 40% chance of showers and or thunderstorms towards the afternoon, say around 5, 6 p.m. and beyond. Friday, warming up, but also cloudy and potentially wet, up to 23. And then down to 17, still 7 degrees above seasonal on Saturday, wet. And from Good Friday through to Easter Sunday, we'll see it stay warm, cool off, and then really get chilly. Down to 6 degrees on Easter hunting day. Take a look at where we go from there. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, fairer weather in terms of sky conditions, but cool and below seasonal. Wherever you are, stay dry, and you'll need those extra layers next week. Happy Easter, everyone. Good night.
The NHL held their annual Hockey Innovation Competition in Ottawa recently, and the St. Clair College team beat schools from all over North America.
And just being able to talk to anyone in those kind of positions, because obviously that's my dream one day, to be in those kind of positions, so that was really awesome.
The group was comprised of 4 young ladies who called their project Reignite the Rink. The pitch focused on retrofitting old arenas by capturing and redistributing waste from the heat and cooling systems and integrating multi-use spaces and reconnecting communities through a digital platform to create year-round hubs. Windsor Arena was a source of inspiration for their idea.
Being able to relate to our actual community on that level and share that with all of these industry leaders to show that we have that connection here in our community of Windsor was super cool for us.
And sticking with sports for another minute with a story about trying to get 2 new sports into the high school circuit.
I'm hoping that through this event, we prove the interest and the want for it.
From screens to courts, a new push is underway to expand high school sports in Windsor, Essex. At St. Clair College, students competed in a high school esports championship designed to grow the game.
The whole idea was, you know, we've got an amazing collegiate program. How do we start to develop that pipeline within the, you know, high schools and then eventually down in the elementary schools?
Close to 50 students from area schools took part across multiple games.
I think this is great for esports in high school as you're getting exposure to bigger teams and you're really showing what you can do and you're meeting others. It's just a great event by St. Clair.
The hope is to make esports a WEXA-sanctioned sport one day.
While sports are great, not everyone necessarily, you know, have the same skills in sports. And I think esports fosters a different kind of environment that's really like future forward.
At the other end of the playing field,
we want to get these kids off their computers, off their phones. It's another sport we could put in the gym.
Phil Milanis, a pickleball instructor at Pickleplex, has the same goal after seeing the success of this high school event last week.
I think it is a big possibility that it could be a sport next year. If not a league, definitely tournaments. You know what I mean? Just to get kids involved more.
That seems more realistic in the short term for both sports. According to WEXA, a sport only gets sanctioned under their governing body if it is recognized by the Ontario Federation of School Athletic Association, or OFSA. Bernie says there is a push from above that could help put esports on screens across the province.
I don't think it's going to take a lot of time to develop like a really sanctioned body within Ontario or within the local area. It just takes the right people that are going to lead the charge.
Bob Belichico, CTV News.
And don't forget, you can catch all of Bob's On the Sidelines segment on our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. And with that, thank you for watching. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night at 11.